If you're battling with a divorced parent, or if your parent got divorced, you're battling with divorced parents, your parents are no longer together, your parents are having little misunderstanding, you don't seem to understand what's going on with your parents, this video is for you. Stay close and pay attention. Why do parents get divorced? Why did dad and mom split up? That's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm reading the story of a particular young lady. She said, I was home with my mom the day dad left us. I was only 6, so I didn't understand what was going on. I was sitting on the floor watching TV, and I could hear my mom sobbing and begging my dad to stay. He came downstairs with a suitcase, knelt down, and gave me a kiss and said, Daddy will always love you. Then he walked out the door. I didn't see my dad for a long time. After that, since then, I have been afraid that mom will leave too. If your parents divorced, it can seem like the end of the world, a catastrophe that generates enough misery to last forever. It often triggers a wave of shame, anger, anxiety, fear of abandonment, guilt, depression, and profound loss, even a desire to revenge. If your parents have recently split up, you might be experiencing similar feelings. And no wonder God said that to raise a child, you both need the father and the mother. If God knew that to raise a child, it was going to be only one side of the parent, so that made okay, only male, you raise child. Like he knew that it was they both needed to raise a child. So God is against divorce. God is against divorce. Now, a boy said, I really looked up to my father and wanted to be with him. But since he was 7, his parents split up and then his mom got custody of them. Why do parents break up? A lot of times, most of the reasons why parents break up are always hidden to the children. Most children don't know. They just find out and say that their dad is leaving or their mom is leaving or they're no longer together. They don't usually know why the parents are breaking up, because parents tend to like hide their whatever they are going through from their children. And now God is against divorce. I'm going to say something. This is why we always emphasize on getting married right. Getting married right. If you are in the right marriage orchestrated by God, I'm very, very sure that you can never be divorced. That is why getting married to the right person can never be overemphasized. Is that the English? Or I'll say getting married to the right person is it's just the right thing to do. Then you won't have to battle with divorce. You won't have to, because God is the one driving the boat, the ship of the boat of the father and the mother. So please, 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 and please, to avoid getting divorced when you get married, please make sure you seek God. You seek God. God, who am I to spend the rest of my life with? And make sure that you end up with the right person. When you end up with the right person, if God is involved in the relationship, there will be no case as divorce. Now, in some cases, some parents split up because one parent is guilty of sexual misconduct, and some maybe because of rods, screaming, and abusive speech, which has erupted into violence, and some causes one of the parents to fear for his or her physical well-being and that of the children. And then some couples split up for less compelling reasons. Rather than work out of their problem, some of them just rather than solving their problems, some of them just write a divorce paper and then they just want to get divorced already. And God is not in support of it. God is not in support of it. Now, whatever the case is, the fact that your parents may have chosen to be silent or to give you only vague answer to your question regarding the divorce does not mean they do not love you. That does not mean that your parents do not love you. Wrapped up in their own thoughts, your parents may simply find it hard to talk about it to you. They may feel like you might not understand and comprehend, so they won't even want to talk about it to you. They may also find it awkward and embarrassing to admit their mutual failures. Now, what can you do when you find yourself in this situation? One, identify your fears, because divorce can turn your world upside down. It can actually make you lose your mind, can make you lose it. Just to see your parents having little misunderstanding, you can be like, in fact, if you are someone that you are studying in school, like you are writing an exam, at that point, you just get destabilized. You'll be able to concentrate because every now and then, that's what you are thinking of. That's what you are thinking of. Now, identify yourself, your fears. You may find yourself worrying about things that you formerly took for granted. Even so, you may be able to shrink your fears to a manageable size by first identifying what they are. So discuss your concerns. If you see that you need to discuss with your parents, dad, mom, what is going on. Try and discuss with them. If you see that they are not giving you the channel to discuss with them, look for a trusted person, a counselor that you can speak with. It's very important that you speak to someone. When you speak to someone, so that you to not you will just say, you have to say all that is in your mind, and it is not going to be something that's going to be attacking you emotionally. So you have to speak with someone, a therapist, a counselor, someone that you trust that can handle that issue, that can advise you, that can give you the best advice. You really have to speak to someone about it, not just any other person. Because if the kind of person you talk to can determine how the next what your next line of action will be. If you speak to the wrong person, they they can just I don't want to say what's in my mind. All right. Hmm. Marital unhappiness. Let's say notice marital unhappiness is not something that you inherit from your parents. Because your parents were not finding joy in their own marriage does not mean that you will not find joy in your marriage. Do not let that pain. Some people, one of the reasons why they have problems in their own marriage is because of the pains that they've gone through when they were younger, because they saw their parents split up and now they've had trust issues that they don't even trust their partner anymore. Any small thing, you're like, what if we split up with me tomorrow? What if we split up? You need to heal from those pains. Marital unhappiness is not something you should inherit from your parents. That's why, like I said earlier, that you have to trust God when choosing a partner so that you will not end up like those people that eventually got divorced. So that you will not end up like them. You have to seek God in choosing a partner. It's not something that you inherit. Whether your parents made the right decision during their time or not, that should not determine how your marriage will be. Your parents' marriage should not determine how your marriage will be. Because they got divorced does not mean you will get divorced. So do away with those odds, that pain. You saw your dad beating your mom when you were much younger. You saw so many stuff. Do away with those stuff. Yours is going to be different. Your marriage is going to be different. So marital unhappiness is not something that you can inherit from your parents. And there is a time to heal. You need to heal up. If you are actually going through that and it's affecting you emotionally, that it does not even make you trust any guy or girl again. But sometimes some girls be like, I don't want to have anything to do with a guy. That's because they watched their dad maltreat their mother when they were very young, and then their parents had to split up and then because of that they tend to like lose trust in guys. They don't want to even have anything to do with a guy again. You need to heal. You need to heal up. There are better guys than your father out there. You need to heal up. The fact that you met one or two, even while growing up, and then they were not able to prove you wrong, does not mean that there are still other guys that do not exist. So you need to heal up. And I pray for anyone that's actually going through one or two odds about the past life. I pray that you'll be healed. Now, what not to do when you are in that situation? Don't hold a grudge. Most times those people that find themselves in that kind of situation, they're always on one side holding a grudge on the other. Probably the reason why you're holding a grudge because you only heard one side of the story. You did not hear the other party. You did not hear what the other party had to say. You don't know who is at fault. You just believe based on what one person told you. Do not hold any grudge on any of your parents. Do not hold any grudge on any of your parents. One a guy said that his parents were selfish, that they did not think about them, and that they did not think that their divorce decision would affect them. Daniel's feelings are understandable and may be true, but how would you like? Yeah, it's very understandable to say that your parents were selfish. They did not care about you. Understand you're heartbroken. That does not mean that you should hold a grudge on them. That does not mean that you should hold a grudge on them. Now, if your parents have divorced, one or quite likely both of them have made mistake. If you find yourself in a divorced family, it's because one of them or the both of them made mistakes. Try to identify those mistakes so that you can avoid repeating them if you choose to marry in the future. If you choose to marry, you will get married. So try to look at those. Okay, this is the reason why this thing happened to my parents. Instead of holding that out, like, because of this thing, I'm not going to get married. I'm not going to get married. I don't want to trust a guy again. Instead of you letting that pain decide for you, why don't you heal up? Look at those things that they did. Okay, what caused it? Why did it even happen? Look at it and learn so that when you get married, you will not do the same. That when you get married, you will not find yourself in the same shoe. So those things, those situations are most times for you to learn so that you will not repeat the same mistake. Now, a girl said this: after my mom left us, I was depressed and cried every day. But I prayed often kept busy helping others and stayed close to mature friends. I feel that through those means, God helped me to cope. See, God helped her to cope. I know she was. It's not this easy actually. It's not always easy dealing with those kind of stuff. It can cost you your your mental health. But that's why God is there to help us. God is there to help us to cope. God is there to help us to heal. God is there to help us to learn. God is there to help us to even God can even use you to bring your parents back together. That is why in if you are in this case, if you find yourself in this kind of situation, what you should do is I feel it's a call for you to get closer to God. God, why is this happening? God, why is this happening? Why are my parents doing this? God is going to answer your prayer and definitely going to bring them back together. God can use you to restore peace in your family. God can use you to restore peace in your family. So it's a time for if you find yourself in this kind of situation, it's a time for you to go close to God and talk to God instead of talking to the wrong people. In fact, God is the best person to talk to that can give the best advice, way more than a therapist or or than a counselor would. So now, this another thing that you should not do is this: avoid self-destructive behavior. Most times some children, because of that kind of situation, they now begin to do anyhow, become nuisance in the community. I really don't know, apart from becoming even a nuisance, they now start to do stuff that are not even supposed to be done. That should not determine your behavior. Avoid self-destructive behavior. A guy said this, that I was unhappy and depressed after my parents got divorced, and he started having problems in school, failed one year, and then became the clown and got into a lot of fights. I understand that the situation really got over him, affected his mental health emotionally, and then made him become what he is. But that is not an excuse. That is not an excuse. That's why I said if you have God, if you talk to God, if you rely on God help during this period, it's not going to affect your behavior. Don't let this affect you. Don't let it affect your behavior. The Lord will help you. And now this is it. Getting over your parents' divorce is like recovering from a broken arm. The process is painful, but you will eventually heal. What to expect in the future? A literal injury such as a broken bone can take weeks or even months to heal completely. Similarly, emotional injuries takes time to heal. So now, if you find yourself in this case, one of the best advice still remains that you stay close to God. God is the only one that can help you to heal up. God is the one that can help you to do away with the pain. God can help you to do away with the hurt, with the trauma, the emotional damage. So trust Jesus with with the situation of your family. Trust Him, and it's going to bring peace to that family. It's going to bring your divorced parents back together. It's going to heal you. It's going to do a lot of things. God is going to do a lot of things. When you are facing times like this, just trust Jesus. Just move to God, and God is going to help you. And I pray for everyone that is going through this at the moment of their life, that the Lord helps them to heal in the name of Jesus, and the Lord restores peace